Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm Neil.
And we are
Nerds Over 40.
Welcome, Nerd Migos.
Welcome back, guys.
What are we talking about today?
Well, this is episode 6?
It is episode 6.
And it's the end of the summer, so we're talking about the summertime and summer movies.
All right, which is some of our favorite movies, right?
Lifelong loves.
Exactly. So for me, summer movies, I don't want to sit alone in the theater.
No.
I want to go with my friends. So tell me a story of going to see a movie with your friends.
Well, I think my favorite example of this is kind of funny because I was an adult, right? Most of my stories are about as a kid, but we went to go see Endgame, and there were about 13 of us. I bought the tickets the day they came out, and some of you guys can remember how hard those tickets were. They're crashing websites.
We had a bunch of people get together for one of my birthdays. We rented a house down in LA, and the big event we were going to was where
Where did we see the movie at?
We saw it at Americana in Glendale. But yeah, we took all of our friends and went and saw Endgame, and that movie was epic.
The crowd was buzzing before we even got into it. People were cheering when the curtain rose. Not that the curtain rises anymore, but
when the Marvel logo with the music comes up, and your heart starts going with that. And that movie had everything. I mean, you cried, you laughed, you cheered. And
there were certain scenes, and you can find them on YouTube. You can find them online.
There's like reaction videos of people watching.
People were videoing it in the movie, like when Captain America summons Mjolnir. I mean, just like what? Everyone's like, yes.
And what does Thor say?
We're happier than Thor is. And Thor's like, I knew it, And the rest of us are like,
flies right by him. Man. Flies right by him and goes to Captain America. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was
one of the best scenes of the movie.
And then when Tony Stark says, "And I am Iron Man," I'm telling you.
Yeah, tears. Everybody's,
you share that with everyone else.
I want to do that. I don't want to sit in some art movie with Nicole Kidman. Like, I want to go to Endgame with my friends.
Well, it seems like that's something that we've lost since the pandemic, is that we're just not going out as much. We're much more inward focused. We're staying at home. We're watching streaming. And maybe this is something I'll touch on a little bit later about how streaming has impacted these movies. But anyway, those are big summer movies, right?
Right. So some of the things when I was doing my research about a summer movie, why are summer movies, what makes a summer movie? It's not just that it comes out in the summertime, which it does. So most of the movies we're going to talk about were released between May and August of the year that they came out. There are some that were maybe a little earlier or maybe a little later, but they kind of evoke that feeling of summer, so I kind of slipped them in.
We've got some summer-themed movies also that I don't know when they were released, what time of year, but they touch on that sort of summer theme.
So why is summer the time for the big blockbusters? And here are some reasons that people came out with. So one of the things that got people going to the movies during the summer was the advent of air conditioning.
Yes.
That people didn't want to go to a sweltering theater. So before air conditioning was just everywhere, people weren't going to the movies during the summer.
Well, and theaters were some of the first places to have air conditioning, so people would go to the movies to escape the sweltering heat.
Exactly.
One of the things that struck me that in Back to the Future is when Marty first goes back to 1955, you see the theater and it says air conditioning. That's one of the big things on the front of the marquee. You don't see that anymore because every place has air conditioning now. But back in 1955, that was a big deal.
And where we live near the beach, so a lot of places are not air conditioned, including our apartment. So when it gets really hot, often we'll say, "Hey, let's go to the movies." And we go to the movies, and it's air conditioned, and it's dark in there, and it's cool, and there are snacks and a big cold soda.
Yeah, vats of soda.
And when I do that, and when I'm escaping the heat, I want to go see something fun. So that's one thing. The other thing is, because it's the time of year, kids are out of school, the weather's warmer, people are more relaxed. So it lends itself to matinees. It lends itself to late night screenings because it isn't a school night. So if you want to go to a 10 o'clock movie on a Wednesday night or a midnight movie, you don't have to worry about getting up for school.
Or if you're Generation X, those carefree days when your parents kicked you loose, and you could get together with some friends and just go to the movies, and you didn't necessarily need your parents to take you there.
Exactly. And it's when people are on vacation, they have more free time, they're more likely to spend money during the summer, during vacation time, and movies have taken advantage of this with like the merch. So, we could talk about Star Wars and Star Wars merch that goes back to like, shampoo bottles with Carrie Fisher's face, Princess Leia shampoo.
What started it all.
Yeah, like the Star Wars merch became a thing, and now merch is huge. And summer is Hollywood's most profitable season. It's not necessarily its artsy season. It's not Academy Awards season.
So specifically for this, I looked up when most Academy Award winners are released, and they're released in October, November, and December. I mean, part of that is a strategic decision, but let's face it, no one wants to see those movies anyway. So it doesn't.
Well, some of those movies
they have to release it to be eligible, but come on,
we're not here to cap on all the Academy Award movies, but I don't want to go see somebody dying for 2 hours during a summer movie.
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
Because we just saw one, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the way they did it, it kind of slow played the dying thing, I think. But movies that were really good movies, like Philadelphia, like Schindler's List. I mean, those are great movies. But I don't necessarily want to see those during a summer matinee with my friends.
I'm pretty sure Saving Private Ryan came out in the summer, but let me tell you, my friends, do not make the mistake of seeing a movie like that at a matinee, because that ruins your whole freaking day.
Yeah.
I mean, you're bummed out, because I did it. I went to go see it with my grandparents and my aunt, and just the rest of the day, you're just like, dude, you're bummed out.
Yeah.
So
Schindler's List, too. You come out of that movie, and you're just like, that is a great movie that I never, ever want to see again.
Yeah, so
both by the same director, by the way. So,
but no, these summer movies, you want to see them again. So some of the examples.
Oh, we're not at the examples yet.
Okay,
we're getting there. Let's finish what's a summer movie.
Okay,
so
I'll allow it.
A lot of the movies that we're going to be talking about are set. They're set in certain locations, situations that make you feel like summer. So fairs, carnivals, amusement parks, vacations in exotic places, the beach, camp, road trips,
lakes,
maybe getting stalked at the lake,
or being killed at the lake,
a good time movie. And they tend to be kind of romanticized. They aren't really emotionally draining. We just covered that, like Schindler's List.
I think with these summer movies, you come out with more energy than you went into it with. Yeah. Whereas those Academy Award winners, you're just like dead inside when you're done.
So they're fun, they're exhilarating, there's often discovery and adventure. A lot of times they're glamorized, they're depictions of leaving home, venturing into the unknown. Sometimes they're the hero's journey. And so you have a lot of sci-fi, you have fantasy, you've got the superhero thing going on, action movies, some horror, some comedy.
There's a lot of kids movies in there because kids have free time during the summer too. That's the big release date for, animated films.
Right. And because these movies make money, a lot of times these are the big budget movies, the movies that the studios put a lot of money into. So you'll see, the Marvel movies, you'll see the Star Wars. A lot of times they're escapist, which I like. I go to the movies for escapism.
Yeah.
I don't want gritty reality. Like I got to work for that. I don't need that at the movie. I'm not spending my money for that. So
maybe these people who make a living as critics, maybe they need a taste of real life, but I've got all I can handle.
Yeah, so I'm good not having to deal with that when I'm going to the movies.
Critics like those movies because it's the closest to real life that they get.
Maybe, I don't know, but like we said, they're supported by a lot of times an extensive marketing blitz and merch and all those things, and we wear our T-shirts and whatever. Neil, if you're not watching on YouTube today, is sporting a Thanos T-shirt. My T-shirt is David from the Lost Boys, and there's a brand of T-shirts that are like skater T-shirts in Santa Cruz that say Santa Cruz. This one is like a knockoff on that because the Lost Boys was filmed in Santa Cruz, but they call it Santa Carla. So it has the Santa Carla label here, and it says all the damn vampires around it.
That's very fetching, baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
For those of you who don't have YouTube, you should check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, right. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about this year's summer movies. So the first two big summer movies we have already done full episodes on. So yes, Superman was episode 3 of our podcast. If you're interested in our opinions on that, please go watch that. The next one was Fantastic Four: First Steps, which we covered extensively in episode 5 of our podcast.
I loved it.
I mostly loved it. I didn't totally love it. So,
well, I mean, I've got complex feelings about it, but overall, especially if you're not a comic book person, I think it's a great entry into comic books. To me, it evoked that's. Anyway, we talked about this, so
okay. So we're going to go back to the previous Marvel movie that came out right at the beginning of the summer, which we have not discussed yet, which was Thunderbolts
or New Avengers, depending. Right?
Yes. So were your feelings on Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts was a perfect popcorn movie.
What grade would you give Thunderbolts?
I give it a B+, I think.
Okay. I was a little confused because Bill Pullman's son is in it.
Yes.
He plays Bob. And the last movie I saw him in was Maverick.
Yes.
Where he also played a character named Bob. And I'm like, is he Bob again? And is this the same Bob? Like, what is going on with
you're going to get typecast. You're only going to get Bob characters. And in neither
one did he have, like, a last name. He was just Bob.
So
I was like, okay, this is a little weird, but all right. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in it. She was fine.
I bet you he got to keep his wardrobe.
Yeah, everything he ever does
pajamas,
just says Bob.
I think.
But it kind of the post-credit trailer was bringing in Fantastic Four into Earth.
That's right.
What is it, 616?
616, yeah.
So, which they didn't do that at the end of Fantastic Four.
I
thought that would be their post-credit of why they're leaving their Earth and going to 616. Didn't happen. So it wasn't totally cohesive between the two movies, I thought, especially when they came out so closely together. So I'm like, what is going on here? But I guess
I assume that, like, at the beginning of Doomsday, that the Fantastic Four are going to show up. I mean, are they going to have another Fantastic Four?
Well, they announced who was going to be in Doomsday, and they're in it.
They pushed Doomsday back a year, right? But they haven't announced, like, another Fantastic Four movie in the meantime.
No. So I don't know what's happening. But anyway, that's the Thunderbolts. So I would say go see Thunderbolts. I would give Thunderbolts a B+.
That's what I gave it. I give it a B+. Yeah, like, Yelena is great. I love Florence Pugh.
I do too. She's
I love
awesome.
David Harbour. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she doesn't have a huge part in there, but she does chew the scenery when she is in there. It's a great popcorn movie. Great
I agree.
Movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun summer.
And that's ultimately when you're
we
doing
went to see it with our
summer
friends,
movie or
we
a
had a
comic
good
book
time.
movie. Most of them should be fun. It's okay to get a few that are heavy here and there, but they need to pay their dues and be fun for 80% of the time.
Okay, so next big franchise movie of the summer was Jurassic World Rebirth.
Island of Misfit Dinosaurs.
Neil has been waiting to roll out that title. So
it's the Island of Misfit Dinosaurs.
So tell me about Jurassic World Rebirth.
Okay, so what Jurassic Park is this? Is this number
I don't
8?
know. We had a whole argument about how many
I
we've
think
seen.
it's. I googled it, and I think it's either. So I think it's 8, but one of them is only a short. And honestly, if you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all.
There's kids screaming because the dinosaurs are coming for them.
Really, Jurassic Park has given a variety of talented actors new ways to portray, oh shit, we're going to die.
That is potentially true. I wanted to see this one because I like Scarlett Johansson, and I really like Jonathan Bailey. I really liked him in Bridgerton. I really liked him in Wicked. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. And it was more.
He was
and the guy who plays the Lincoln lawyer was in it too, and we liked him.
But for Jonathan Bailey, I mean, he's a heartthrob, and they dressed him down a little bit.
They nerded him up.
Yeah, they nerded him up, actually.
They didn't give him a glow up. They gave him a glow down.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought he was a better scientist than Scarlett Johansson was a mercenary. She is too. She doesn't have enough scars.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, if you're going to watch Jurassic Park, my recommendation is watch the first one. This one, there's nothing new under the sun here on this one.
Well, I mean,
they made the dinosaurs bigger and uglier, basically.
Well, this episode gets this version, this Jurassic Park rebirth, it gets a little bit meta, because one of the things they keep talking about is how Jurassic Park, to keep people interested, keeps having to genetically engineer dinosaurs to make them bigger, scarier, more interesting. But that's also the same thing that the Jurassic Park film films have been doing, right? Because you had Indominus Rex in Jurassic Park World, which is this genetically bred, super dinosaur, right?
That's the one in this one?
No, Indominus Rex is in Jurassic Park World, the first one with Chris Pratt and what's her name.
But like the one in this one doesn't even look like a dinosaur.
No,
he's kind of looks like more like a monster.
Well, he had 6 limbs, I think, and he had a head that looked almost like a human or ape,
alien
skull.
Almost. Yeah, it was.
Oh,
weird.
he looked like the Rancor from
Yeah.
from Star Wars. So those of you who are Star Wars,
Yeah, it didn't look like a dinosaur.
Should be all of you.
And I mean, Jurassic Park should be about the dinosaurs. Like my favorite dinosaur, I mean, other than the velociraptors that everybody likes, but I guess it was the first one with Chris Pratt that had the dinosaur in the water. That big, huge dinosaur.
I think is what that's called.
I thought he was a scary dinosaur. The best scene from that was Jimmy Buffett running away with trying to save his margarita.
What does that tell you about a dinosaur? Where the best scene is where you've got a 60-year-old dude rescuing a margarita.
If the 60-year-old dude is Jimmy Buffett, hello.
Yeah.
So inside baseball there, like, if you recognize that was Jimmy Buffett saving his margarita, you're like, look, Jimmy Buffett's running away with his margarita. Anyway.
Yeah, so for like 2 seconds, that makes the movie.
And moving on. So the next big...
Dude, if we talk about best cameos ever, that's got to be mentioned.
It was good. It was very good. So the next big franchise property from 2025 was Karate Kid Legends, which I think we've talked about because we were talking about people getting concussions and things and that.
Use your words, kids. Come on.
So what grade are we giving Karate Kid Legends?
I give it a C.
A C, I think, yeah.
Maybe a C minus. Guys, it's time to retire that franchise.
Yeah.
And
Jurassic.
We got the Johnny, what's his last name?
I don't know. The blonde guy.
Yeah, we got his kind of redemption arc. Let's let it go. I mean, God, we can't let anything go. If there's a dime left in the IP, we are going to squeeze that.
That's
get it
correct.
Out. But it's time to let this one die with dignity.
All right. So then we saw a couple of movies in preparation for this episode because I felt like we needed to see a couple more of the 2025 summer movies. So we saw The Materialists, which has people that would appeal to our demographic, right? Chris Evans is in it. So Captain America, Pedro Pascal, who's basically in everything now.
Dakota Johnson, who's also been in comic book properties. Of course,
what was she?
She was in
what comic?
She was in
property?
Madam Web. We didn't see it because it was so bad.
Yeah, okay.
We knew it was going to be bad.
I did see 50 Shades, which I also knew was going to be bad, and
I was able to dodge that bullet.
I don't know why this girl can't have sex in a bed. It's always up against a wall or
she's
something.
She's really skinny, so it's not hard to keep her up.
I guess so. But anyway, spoilers if you haven't seen it.
It's not good sex,
it's not that it's just not a good movie in general, sex or otherwise. I didn't like her character. I found her kind of deplorable. I couldn't root for her.
The problem, I think there were a few problems with this movie, is that it was muddled. My reaction at the end was, well, what was that about?
Yeah.
Is it about kind of how materialism gets in the way of real emotions?
It almost felt like it was trying to have a redemption arc and didn't.
It was trying to say something.
I didn't believe her with either guy. Like, I didn't believe the relationship with either guy.
No.
So,
honestly, the Pedro Pascal would have been more true to her character, but then she goes with her true love, Chris Evans. But this dude's got no future either,
No, and it just didn't feel real between them.
No.
So anyway, I'd give that one, a C minus ish, D.
I wonder if that's kind of, maybe that's, I'd like to hear from some of our millennial friends about how they felt about it. Cause that hopeless sort of feeling where you're just, you're always behind the eight ball and things are so expensive and you're just poor all the time. I mean, that might be sort of more from a younger person's view, because that God knows that the millennials don't have much to look forward to.
Okay. And
Boy, that got grim.
On that happy note, we're trying to be up for these summer movies.
I know, right? That's why it's a bad summer movie.
Okay. So the next one we saw, which we just watched on streaming, was The Life of Chuck, which was based on a short story, I believe, by Stephen King. I haven't read the short story, though I've read a lot of Stephen King. And it's starring Tom Hiddleston, who is another one of our Marvel actors, Loki, the heartthrob of many of our friends.
It also has, and I can never
shout out Hiddlestoners.
I can never pronounce this guy's name right, but Chiwetel Ejiofor, who was Baron Mordo from Doctor Strange.
Right. He was in Serenity, right?
And he was in Serenity, shout out. It has Karen Gillan in it, who started off in Doctor Who and was also Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
So lots of nerd cred with the cast.
Big time.
And the movie, I guess we're going to do some spoilers, but from the beginning, it looks like one kind of a movie, and then it kind of shifts gears into another kind of a movie. And it wasn't... I certainly wouldn't call it a feel-good movie, though it had feel-good moments. It had what's-her-face from Ferris Bueller in it. Mia Sarah.
That's right. That was a good call. I didn't recognize her at
Sloane?
all. I was like, can't be Sloane. She looks way too old to be Sloane.
I think
it was Sloane.
I think they were trying to get her to look old. Also, his grandfather was played by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I mean, the cast in this has major nerd cred. So I liked it.
I enjoyed it. It had some.
It.
It got me in the feels a couple of times.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's sort of that Stephen King, his love for literature in the English language, because there's some quotes from Walt Whitman in there, which is actually, there's one quote in particular that the movie kind of revolves around and kind of, and I think ultimately provides sort of the storyline and the theme. And then there's a quote from, I can never remember this author, but the sinner doesn't hold, and then it ends what something beast slouches towards Bethlehem waiting to be born, which is one of the creepiest lines of all time.
And Stephen King's used that in some of his other books. He often begins his books with a quote. And I know that quote has been used in other properties of his before.
The Stand specifically, he used it in there.
Yeah. So anyway, I would say maybe watch it on streaming. I don't know if it's really, you have to go to the movies to see that movie.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a theater movie.
I give it a B. I wouldn't classify it as a stereotypical summer movie. It's not really a go with your friends and eat popcorn kind of a movie, but
it's another one where you come out and you're kind of scratching your head a little bit.
Yeah.
You do have to kind of figure it out as you go along.
But I think it's worth watching.
No, there were some good performances in it, and like I said, it got me in the feels a couple of times.
All right. So other movies of the summer that we have not seen. The Minecraft movie, because neither of us played Minecraft.
We don't have kids.
It had good reviews. Then there were a couple of live action remakes of animation. So one was Lilo and Stitch, which I guess is killing it in the movie theaters.
I want to know how they got a live action Stitch. They find an actual alien to...
Okay, he's CGI. Which, by the way, I didn't mention when we were talking about our Fantastic Four review. I need to circle back around. My biggest complaint, because Neil had many complaints about... I'm not even going to say because I'll start rolling my eyes again. My complaint was, why a CGI baby? Okay? How many movies have babies in them? You can get a baby. Go get a baby. Why does the baby need to be CGI? I understand why the T-Rex needs to be CGI. I do not understand why this needs to be some fake-ass looking baby.
I can get your baby by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, the baby was creepy as hell. The baby was almost as creepy as that baby in Twilight, okay? This was a weird-ass creepy baby.
I feel like I need to see Twilight just to understand that reference.
Oh, do you want to watch Twilight
No.
as soon as we're done?
No.
Yes, I'm going to make him watch Twilight. No. I made him watch Xanadu. That was bad enough.
Dude. Though honestly, the animation reminded me of Attack of the Clones.
So the next one is one that Neil wants to see. I don't particularly want to see. I don't like this genre of films. but it is The Naked Gun, and I refer to it as a reboot. Neil corrected me.
Oh,
It's
it's a
not
sequel.
a reboot.
And
Yeah.
I think it's genius that they made it a sequel, because you only reboot movies that have failed. I think I saw that under his credits that Mole Man that actor is in The
Yeah.
Naked Gun.
So, so another one that is a sequel, I believe, is I Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't think we've seen any of those since the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I don't really care what you did last summer.
The bad news is I know what you did last movie, and I don't really want to see it again.
So I doubt we're going to see that one even on streaming.
They made a second one to that, and the first one wasn't even good, so whatever.
Yeah. One that we kind of, I think, wanted to see and haven't gotten to is F1, the movie. I'm not an F1 fan. I'm not a racing fan, but I have been kind of a fan of the movies that depict racing. So we liked Ford versus Ferrari. We liked Gran Turismo. So I think that when it's on streaming, that's one I might be interested in watching.
Well, and that's the problem. You want to know why, like, Superman and why Fantastic Four aren't hitting like 700, 800, $1 billion? It's because why see them more than once when you can see them on streaming, for free in a few, in 60, 90 days?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that if you wanted to see a movie, you had to go to the movies to see the movies. Now you gauge how much you want to see the movie by, do I want to see it enough to go see it now in the theater, or am I going to wait until I can just sit at home in the comfort of my living room and watch it from home on streaming?
And that's a particular problem for Disney Plus. Disney Plus, they should not release a Marvel movie onto Disney Plus for at least a year after the movie's released.
Make people go see it in the theater.
Make people go see it in the theater. And that, I don't know, that maybe that causes Disney Plus to lose some luster, but so many of these streaming services should not exist anyway. I mean, who was asking for Peacock? And Paramount Plus, as many shows on there that I watch, their technology is terrible.
Well, we have it for Star Trek.
Yeah.
I pay for Paramount Plus specifically for Star Trek.
But one of the reasons we didn't see F1 is because every time we turn on Apple Plus TV, it's splashed across there. And we know we'll be able to see it for free. Well, not for free, but as part of our subscription in a month, in 2 months, whenever. So why, I'm too lazy to go to the theater to see it.
So another sequel that's coming out this summer, which Neil has adamantly declared that he will not go see, is Freakier Friday. It's got Lindsay Lohan in it, who appears to have somewhat gotten her act together now.
Hey, good for her.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, so original cast is in it.
Love Jamie Lee Curtis. If you're a fan of genre, then you've got to love Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of a recap of 2025. So in short, go see Superman, go see Fantastic Four, and in streaming,
Jurassic World. If you've seen any of the Jurassic Parks, you've kind of already seen that one.
So anyway, that's our 2025. Oh, there's a new movie you mentioned coming out, Weapons, that looks spooky, horror.
Oh, yeah.
And horror is kind of a genre that happens during the summer too, like a thriller. So you were saying you might be interested.
I read reviews that were very, very positive about Weapons. I mean, I'm not a huge horror fan, and it looks so creepy.
So we may go see that. I don't know.
But no, the review.
I feel like horror movies you should see them at night. You shouldn't see them in matinees. They're creepier at night.
They are creepier at night, but that might be the best reason to see them at a matinee.
Okay. All right. So now let's talk about movies past. Summer movies past.
All right, now brace yourselves for nostalgia, guys.
Yeah, we're moving away from 2025. We're going back into our Nerds Over 40
to the good
archives.
old days.
We're opening up the vault. So these are movies that either are set in the summer or evoke the feeling of summer or just have that quality of like a fun summer movie. So some of the ones that are just general summer movies that came out during the summer, feel like summer, are Caddyshack. Do you want to talk about Caddyshack?
Caddyshack, best golf game, golf movie ever.
Better than Bagger Vance?
I had a roommate back when I was in 20-something, and we had a collection of VHS tapes, and one of mine was, I think both of us might have had it, but Caddyshack was one of them. And there were times when we'd order a pizza. Each one of us would order a pizza.
If you've ever seen Neil eat pizza, you have no trouble believing that.
But me and Mike, each one of us would order a large pizza, eat it by each one of us eating our own large pizza. And I remember there were nights specifically where we were like, oh, we can't watch Caddyshack. We watched Caddyshack last time. We'd be going through our collection. What are we going to watch? And then, he'd look at me, I'd look at him, be like, Caddyshack.
Can't you almost smell Neil's bachelor apartment with these two
guys? It didn't smell bad. I mean, God knows it wasn't neat. But
sitting around, were you in your underwear when you were watching Caddyshack?
Oh yeah, we very much were. I mean, boxer shorts, and Mike was Italian, and he was hairy too. Boy,
this picture just getting more and more attractive. It
was a very, very male apartment. That's for sure. And he was the neat one, And I'm getting that out there because if he comes across this, and if he's listening, I don't want him to make a comment about what a slob I am, because I am a slob, kind of.
All right, so other summer movies that I put.
Let's see Caddyshack if you haven't seen it. Seriously.
Yeah.
What are you doing watching this if you haven't seen Caddyshack?
Caddyshack gets an A. So it's some of the actors from Caddyshack we also saw in Animal House, right?
Animal House, Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So Animal House is another kind of summer National Lampoon kind of movie.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in Little China. I wrote down.
That's one of the most. It's a shame. I don't think it made money. I think it lost money at the box office, but it's become kind of a cult classic since then. It's so funny, and Kurt Russell's performance is just so over the top. If you haven't seen Big Trouble in Little China, and I'm sure there's some of you out there who haven't, check it out. It's
Kim Cattrall was in it.
It's silly, but there's a lot of 80s in it.
It definitely, don't watch it if you're easily offended. It's got some kind of,
so millennials, this movie isn't for you. But I mean,
cultural appropriation was a thing in this movie.
Well, no, I mean, there were actual, Chinese actors, and they was set in Chinatown and San Francisco.
I'm just saying, most of our movies just don't go in if you're going to be easily offended.
I don't know if it had any more cultural appropriation than like Mortal Kombat or something.
Well, I never saw Mortal Kombat. Okay, moving on. How about Aliens?
That's a great movie.
I mean, imagine going to see that with all of your friends during the summer.
That's James Cameron at his best.
Yeah. Overboard is
you've got 2018, but the one I saw was with Goldie Hawn.
That is Goldie Hawn.
It was originally made back in like the 80s with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Oh, maybe that was the remake. I don't know. But anyway,
Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell, kind of a charming film. Definitely problematic from a modern perspective.
Yeah, again, if you're easily offended and want to have a feminist point of view, this may not.
I mean, honestly, it was problematic back in the day too. Yeah. But back then, we were much more willing to let things slide.
Right. One I put in that's like taking it way back to 1955 was The 7-Year Itch, which was a Marilyn Monroe one. And it's kind of middle-aged man. His wife goes away for the summer. His neighbor is Marilyn Monroe, and hijinks ensue. But that's one that's kind of like, it's got a definite summer vibe.
Who is her co-star in that?
I can't remember the guy's name. No, it wasn't Jack Lemmon. I can't remember the guy's name. All right. So let's talk about some genre specific. So how about coming of age? Oh, wait, before we do that, since you talked about Caddyshack, another kind of summer. Who are the boys of summer?
Those are the boys of summer are baseball players.
Right. So there's a lot of baseball movies that are summer movies. So talk to me about your summer baseball movies.
Well, my favorite baseball movie of all time, and when someone asks what is the best baseball movie ever made, the correct answer, and there is only one, is Bull Durham. I don't care about Field of Dreams. People love Field of Dreams. I don't get it. It's kind of boring, I thought. Now, that probably, for people who love it, that they're probably enraged, and I am an idiot, and I, whatever.
The Internet of Things. I don't think they're watching anyway, so don't worry about it.
But Bull Durham is the greatest baseball movie ever made. I think that Major League is a great movie too.
I really liked Major League.
Major League's fun.
Major League is the first movie I really honed in on Charlie Sheen and he was so good in that.
Yeah.
And it was just funny and fun, and it was summery.
I thought it. For me, Wesley Snipes was the actor that came out of that movie.
Yeah,
I was
Wesley
like, I like
Snipes
this guy.
really
I want
good
to see
in it.
more of him.
Yeah. And it was interesting because when we first started watching Ted Lasso, I thought that's the way Ted Lasso was going to go. It was very much kind of that, like an homage almost, and then it went in a completely different, sweet direction.
It subverted your expectations. Yeah.
But when we first started watching Ted Lasso, I'm like, oh, this is, Major League with soccer.
Yeah.
So anyway, So anyway, let's talk about coming of age movies, because those are big.
I've got an overlap
movies.
for you. We've got The Sandlot, right?
Okay,
baseball
Sandlot
and coming of age.
Mm-hmm. You're killing me, Smalls.
The funny thing is that movie it came out in the 90s?
1993. I wrote it down.
I first saw it like in the last year or two.
Yeah, I showed it to you.
I mean, in '93, I graduated from college and turned 21.
Yeah, you weren't a kid, and it was kind of a kid. It had kids in it, so
yeah. So I didn't really see it, but it is. Everyone knows the quote. You're killing me, Smalls, whether they've seen that movie or not.
Yeah.
And that quote is funny, even if you haven't seen the movie. I was using that quote not having ever seen the movie.
You didn't even know the reference.
You don't need to know the reference because it's a great quote.
Right. So, other coming-of-age summer movies, American Graffiti.
Oh,
so
guys.
Steven Spielberg has entered, or was that Lucas?
It was Lucas. That was George Lucas.
has entered the building, and that's before Star Wars. It was 1973.
Yeah, it's 4 years before Star Wars. It's got, Harrison Ford is in it.
Cindy Williams was in it.
Cindy Williams. You've got Ron Howard. Richard Dreyfuss is in it, too.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss was in it.
But it's a very entertaining movie. It's got a great soundtrack, and
it was filmed up here. It was filmed in Merced or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was Merced.
But it's also a boomer classic too.
Yeah.
Watching it with my parents, The Draft was something that they talked about a lot. And then Richard Dreyfuss's character actually went to Canada. There's an epilogue, where they flash up some lines after, and he went to Canada to dodge the draft.
But it was like teenagers who just graduated from high school and where they're going next. There was a cruising scene and kind of classic cars. It felt very summery. So that's a movie that I would definitely recommend.
That's
American
the first movie
Graffiti.
I ever saw.
It's a classic.
Well, I was like, oh, that's a deuce coupe. That's what a deuce coupe looks like.
All right. So how about Grease?
Whatever. The only reason I've seen this because she made me watch it.
So it's not just set in the summer, but it definitely opens during the summer.
Well, it's got a whole song about. Even if you've never seen the movie, you've heard that song. So.
And it has, it feels summery.
Well,
it has a bunch of middle-aged people playing teenagers.
It's sort of the waning days of summer, right? At the very beginning.
Yeah, they had to break up at the end of the summer and go their separate ways, and then they run back into each other. Here's one of Neil's favorites.
Thank God we dodged that bullet.
You ready for one of Neil's favorites? The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants that I dragged him to. I read the book, and then I dragged him to the movie, and he made me suffer all the way through the movie. If you take Neil to a movie he doesn't like, he sits there and bitches and makes comments all the way through the movie and tries to ruin the movie for you, so you'll never drag him to a movie he doesn't want to see again.
So I'm going to...
He's passive-aggressive like that.
Sometimes, yes. Like for Mamma Mia, you bet your sweet ass I was busting on that movie all the way through. But this movie, I think Amy had been having a hard time at work, or you weren't feeling well or something. So I let her choose the movie, and I didn't give her any pushback for that.
Until we got into the movie.
No, and it was a very specific part for those of you who've seen it. There's one of the women is artistic, right? Was that Blake Lively was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she wasn't artistic. She was the sporty one.
Yeah, she's an artist, and she kind of meets a boy, and I just remember specifically, she draws a picture of him, and he's got the biggest nipples you've ever seen.
I don't remember this scene
at
all.
The audience was laughing.
I don't remember anything about this.
Like, I am so sorry, but I think I was a trooper on that movie. There have been other movies where, yes, I started capping on the movie midway through.
Well, that sets me up for a good segue. You ready? So our next genre are movies set in exotic locales, and you just mentioned
Mamma Mia.
I love that movie. I love that movie. I've watched it a bunch of times. Meryl Streep, awesome. Christine Baranski, awesome. Mrs. Weasley is in that movie.
Pierce
She's
Brosnan
awesome.
singing is a crime against humanity, y'all.
Two of my huge heartthrobs, Colin Firth and Pierce Brosnan, are in that movie. And the elder Skarsgård is in that movie. He's the other dad. It's set in Greece on this island. There's ABBA music. It's romance. It's awesome. It's
No, I saw an actor or actress who's in it and was like, oh, that was shit. No, it was what was her name? She was on. Never mind. It's off topic.
I like the movie. I would give Mamma Mia an A-. Go see it if you're female.
Don't see it.
If you're female or a gay man, go see it. If you're like Neil, I would avoid it. Next, which is another one of my picks that I like a lot, and I've probably made Neil watch it. Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane, who's, from back in the day. And I really like that movie. It was escapist. It's set in Italy. There's romance. There's.
Oh, I like Diane Lane. I mean, the movie's sort of, it's what it is.
It's a good chick movie.
It's not terribly interesting. If you want to go to a movie where nothing fucking happens, then that's the movie.
Stuff happens in the movie. All right. So here's a couple
Sorry, Mom.
Here's a couple set in Hawaii. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That's a good movie.
And 51st Dates.
Hey, and ladies, you get Jason Segel full frontal nudity in that one.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and apparently, they were trying to talk Harrison Ford into going on to, what's that? That's like that movie that he's in with Jason Segel on.
Oh yeah.
Or the television, or it's a streaming show.
On Apple.
And Harrison Ford's note that he sent to Jason Segel said, "Nice dick," because he thought forgetting Sarah Marshall. I thought that was a funny story. So there you go.
There's puppetry. There's penises, but not puppetry of the penis like there is in Vegas. So, but yes. So both of those are set in Hawaii. There's the Blue Lagoon back in the day. Speaking of kind of questionable choices how old was Brooke Shields in that? And she was running around like,
I'm telling you.
Barely a loincloth with Christopher Atkins.
So you got to feel bad for child actors and actresses from back in the day. I mean, Julie Garland was treated heinously. Mm-hmm. Brooke Shields was exploited.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to watch some of these movies now and not be like, oh, really? We don't want to contribute to, that was...
I never saw it. I never had any desire to see it. I mean, in 1980, I was 8 years old,
yeah.
So.
All right. How about the Hangover movies? Did you have any desire to see those?
I could have starred in those.
Who is which character?
That's a good question.
Bradley Cooper?
Of course. Of course.
You could see the resemblance if you're watching on YouTube.
Yes. I'm a dead ringer. You're too good to me.
You're welcome. So yeah, the Hangover movies but those are like a fun summer movie, right? Like go with your friends. They're fun. They're funny. They're really off color.
I want to reflect on what an act of genius it is to be able to make a second Hangover movie that was good, right?
Yeah.
That's a hard premise to do once. And they managed to do it twice. The third time they blew it. But the first two
were really good.
Are really good. They're hilarious. They kind of a new standard of hilarity, I think.
All right. So I'm going to go a little quickly through some of these other ones because we still need to get to our favorite movies. So road trip movies. So there was a movie called Road Trip that I think we may or may not have seen. Little Miss Sunshine.
Little Miss Sunshine.
That was a good movie. That was a really good movie.
Yeah, that is a great movie. Very entertaining. Set in L.A.
Okay, how about this one? This to me is the epitome of a summer vacation, road trip, funny, has everything movie, National Lampoon's Vacation.
Well, it's so specific to our generation, I think,
yes.
too.
And Chevy Chase, it was just like you're going on a road trip with your family. It's dysfunctional. It's great.
Well, it appeals to boomers and Gen X because we're coming at it from two different directions, right? They are.
Yeah, we were the kids. We were in the back seat
they're
going,
Chevy
this
Chase,
sucks.
and we're Rusty and
Audrey. Yeah.
Now, honestly, I enjoyed my family vacations, but my family was shockingly functional.
Yeah. So speaking of family vacations that you may or may not have enjoyed, they also made a European vacation.
That one had boobies.
And I used to go on European vacations with my family, and I was the, surly teenager in the back with my Walkman on trying to tune everybody out. So I related to that.
I want to share a little anecdote. For my birthday, we go to the LA Museum of Art, right? And they've got a Pizarro and Cezanne showing, and Amy saunters up to her dad and says, "So how many of these?" He interrupts her. He says, "About 10,000."
No, he said 10 million. I believe. 10 yes. Million? Yes. And then my mother goes into a rage. Yeah, you guys have been so put upon. I've exposed you to culture, and it's been so hard on you.
Because apparently French Impressionism was something that when they were in Europe got forced
I
down
only
their
had to
throats,
say how many to my dad, and he went into a whole thing and set my mother off.
She and her dad could be a comedy troupe just by just the two of them.
Yes, so. I have my father's sense of humor. Next, Sideways. So
just rewatched it not too long
Wine
ago.
Country Road Trip. Paul Giamatti, very good. I would say set kind of near where we live, between here and LA. Solvang, that area. Paul, which is an alien road trip, going around in an RV with an alien.
A true nerd movie.
Yes.
It's got Simon Pegg, Seth Rogen is in it, or he does the voice for Paul, right? And then there's Simon Pegg's sort of sidekick. I don't remember. Sorry about the sidekick because I can't remember your name. But
Paul was good. So now I am going to give you my recommendation of every movie I'm talking about here, and many of these I'm sure you've seen. But for me, if you have not seen this movie, go see this movie. Chef. Chef came out in 2014. It was written, produced, directed, and starred in by
Favreau.
Our boy Jon Favreau from Swingers originally. And then
he directed Iron Man.
Yeah, and was in Iron Man. I mean, this movie has...
He didn't direct Swingers. I think he wrote it and he starred in it.
Okay.
I don't think he directed it.
But this movie, first of all, don't eat popcorn with this movie. Watch this one at home. Make yourself a grilled cheese sandwich. You will see why. You will thank me.
Amy had a foodgasm when she saw that.
Oh my God. The food
sandwich.
porn in this movie, not to mention the music is great in this movie. It's a road trip movie across the United States, stopping in some really fun places, New Orleans.
You can tell Favreau had complete creative control over this movie because his lover was played by Scarlett Johansson, and his ex-wife was played by, and future wife in it too, spoilers, so was played by Sofia Vergara. So
yeah, and you're kind of looking at him going, really? How did he land these two? But then he makes Scarlett Johansson a plate of pasta.
Bear, and they're just these
no,
bunnies.
It's the food. He makes Scarlett Johansson a plate of pasta, and she's laying there in her underwear, like giving him eyes. I think she was in her underwear.
I don't think she was in her underwear.
She was kind of in her underwear. Anyway. Watch Chef. It's a great, great, great movie, but don't do it on an empty stomach, or be prepared to have food, because you're going to need food if you watch that movie.
And honestly, too, I mean, Amy immediately had to have grilled cheese, and we had to Google how to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
It's not American cheese. This has to be like gourmet grilled cheese.
Well,
Gruyere,
Gruyere, cheddar.
Though
I've made them sometimes with with some American cheese in there just to smooth it out a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, you've got to. There are tricks to making it a really good grilled cheese. You've got to not only you butter the bread, but then you put it in a little bit of oil. To get that really crispy
we got to move on. We got to move on. But Google how to make the grilled cheese from Chef. Make it. Watch the movie. You will thank me.
There's actually he did a food series called Chef on Netflix.
He did.
And they show how to do the grilled cheese.
And we love Jon Favreau.
They show how to do the grilled cheese sandwich on that show.
All right. So let's talk about some beach movies. And again, I'm just going to kind of roll through these. Weekend at Bernie's.
That's a classic.
Okay. So subcategory of beach movies are shark movies. And what was the first and most epic of all shark movies?
Jaws.
1975, considered the first true summer blockbuster. People lined up around the block to see it, and it was the first film to earn 100 million at the box office. And it has spawned many, many sequels
and imitations.
I think we talked about Jaws 3 in 3D with the shark blowing up at some point. But then there's the Meg, which is like a big ass.
It's a megalodon. That's short for megalodon,
Yes.
which is basically a dinosaur shark.
And then the Shallows, Open Water. And then we also need to mention, even though these are made for TV movies, but we have to talk about Sharknado.
How can you not talk about Sharknado?
There needs to be Sharknado with Ian Ziering from 90210. And if you have genuinely run out of every single thing that's available to watch during the summer, then watch Sharknado, I would say.
You should probably rewatch something at that point.
It's up to you.
Rewatch a good movie.
We're doing God's work here. We're just trying to put it out there for you.
We're about to, in a 5 minutes, we're going to make some recommendations for summer movies. Watch one of those.
That's right. Yeah. If
you
you don't want to watch Sharknado.
And God knows you probably shouldn't.
Okay. Summer camp movies. So first we have the movies where people are getting murdered at the summer camp.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Jason shows up, starts offing campers and counselors, and I don't know. I haven't seen a Friday.
Did you ever see Saturday the 14th?
No. Is that a movie?
It is a movie. I watched it with my cousins while we were.
Did everybody live?
I think people died in it. I can remember that's the first movie I ever saw where a hand came out of a toilet and pulled someone down by the hair. It was pretty funny. Saturday the 14th was a movie.
Okay.
It was a spoof, but
all right. Meatballs. So that's from the 70s, 1979. Bill Murray,
classic.
He's a camp counselor, and
that's what you want taking care of your kids.
Oh no, but that one's fun, funny, off color. Dirty Dancing, 1987. You don't want Patrick Swayze taking care of your kids either. He was taking care of one person's kid.
Yeah, just by all means, leave Baby in the corner.
Baby was found her way into a lot of things. So anyway, there's that one.
Vice versa.
Parent Trap. So the original Parent Trap with Haley Mills was 1961, and then they remade it with Lindsay Lohan in 1998 when she was little and cute. And I liked both of those movies a lot. I
love the Haley Mills
movies.
one. As a kid, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Let's get together. Yeah. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to get us canceled. One that we just watched in preparation for this is Wet Hot American Summer. What's most memorable about that movie is we spent the entire movie going, is that there's everybody in there went on to have a career out of this really crappy summer movie.
I don't know that there's ever been a movie as bad as that's been made with so many actors that I
Paul
like.
Rudd's in it, playing a complete dick.
Oh geez, there's just
everybody in that movie went on to have a career afterwards, but it's the movie itself was garbage, but the people in it were really good. So
it was. I mean, honestly, it was surprisingly bad.
Okay. So here's another one that
and it wasn't even bad as it. It's so bad it's good. It just was not good.
Another movie that doesn't hold up particularly well for me is Little Darlings. That was Christy McNichol and Tatum O'Neal, 1980. And they were both teenagers in that movie, and the actresses were teenagers. And the whole point of the movie was they had a bet to see who could lose their virginity first. So one of them was going after one of the other campers, who I believe was Matt Dillon. And then one of them was going after one of the counselors, who was an adult. So
who won?
Well, only one of them lost their virginity.
Yeah. Which one?
I can't remember. So I won't spoil it for you. Watch the movie.
That is messed up.
But yeah. They were clearly not of age when they were making the movie.
1980 is technically the last year of the 70s, and that just seems to, the 70s were a crazy time.
Right. All right. So how about Moonrise Kingdom? Tell me about that one.
Moonrise Kingdom is the only Anderson film that I actually liked. I mean, that I would watch multiple times. Wes Anderson.
Because his movies definitely have their own kind of vibe.
People love them.
I mean, there was the Grand Budapest Hotel was one.
Yeah.
There was Bill
That one
Murray's
an
been
Academy.
in some.
That's a perfect example. They just give out Academy Awards to movies that suck. The Life of Steve Zissou, is that the
Yeah.
or the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, right?
Yeah.
I kept waiting. That's another one I kept waiting
The
for
Royal
it to get good. The Royal
Tannenbaums.
Tannenbaum's another one where it's kind of ugly, really.
Yeah. But Moonrise Kingdom was good.
Moonrise Kingdom was kind of sweet. It was,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that movie.
All right. So my last category is amusement park, carnival, fair kind of movies. So Grown Ups has a whole, that one is set in a camp, kind of. And it also, they go to a water park.
Well, there's
and
a lot of
hijinks
nostalgia
ensue.
in that, right?
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. I generally avoid Adam Sandler movies every chance I get, but I actually did like this movie.
Yeah, no, that's
good.
one of the better Adam Sandler movies, I think.
Vacation we've already talked about. Imaginary Friend had a scene in like an amusement park.
The interesting thing about that movie, just kind of off topic a little bit, is that I don't think that movie's made for kids. I think it's made for adults.
No, well, spoilers coming. But at the end of the movie, I turned to Neil and said, I bet Ryan Reynolds is a lot of women's imaginary friend. And he took his water bottle and beat me over the head with it for saying that. So
no jury would convict me. She had it coming.
I'm just saying. And then one of my favorites is Zombieland.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Bill Murray's showing up all over the place in this.
One of the best cameos
Bill
of all time.
effing Murray.
That might be the best cameo of all time.
It was good.
As
it was
himself,
really good.
yeah.
But yeah, the movie is about, there's some sort of, apocalyptic event. Everybody's turning into zombies. And then there's a small handful of people who are still alive, and they're trying to make their way to
some sort of park in LA.
Pacific
yeah.
Playland or something.
Yes.
And they're trying to get to this amusement park because they've heard that there's no zombies there. But yeah, it's a road trip movie. It's an amusement park movie. It's a zombie movie, and it's fun. It's
and
funny.
On the soundtrack, it has a Black Keys song. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I would say if you're looking for that kind of, special sauce, that's a recommendation. I would give Zombieland an A. I thought Zombieland.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's fun. Go watch it.
Classic.
Yeah. And you don't need to eat grilled cheese when you're watching it. Okay, Neil, give me your 5 of your most nostalgic summer movies.
Some of y'all heard these movies.
We've probably mentioned it before
when we talked about the 80s, but my number one summer movie, these are not necessarily in order, but I think I'd still have to say it's number one, is The Goonies. Coming of age.
Kind of a road trip.
It encapsulates, it's an adventure, it's an action movie. It encapsulates so much of why summer movies are great. I went to go see it with my cousins, Amanda and Melissa, and my brother, and my Aunt Nancy, I think, took us to go see that. And we must have seen it, I think, at least 3 or 4 times that summer. 1985 is when it came out. And it was so much fun. And it was just a great movie. So that's one of the great, I think, summer movies. And it was made for kids because, once again, we were out of school. We had time to go see the movie. And we saw it many, many times that summer too. We were paying customers, or at least my grandparents were paying for it. Second, Inner Space. Some of you might not remember Inner Space.
Ryan.
It had Meg Ryan. It had Dennis Quaid.
Martin
it had
Short?
Martin Short. It had Robert Picardo in it too.
Oh yeah.
Robert Picardo played the cowboy. Don't knock, just come, Big Jack. So it's a lot of fun. Dennis Quaid plays an astronaut who's getting shrunk down to be injected into, and accidentally gets injected into Martin Short. But it's fun. It's actually the first movie. It's the first place I ever heard Sam Cooke singing. So just that alone made it worthwhile.
It always kind of makes me think of Dreamscape, which was another movie that was similar to that at the same time period. Anyway,
and
also good.
I saw it with my Aunt Nancy and my brother, and we saw it at the drive-in, which is classic summer, right? The drive-in during the winter might not be the best idea.
I think I saw Meatballs at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
The Last Starfighter. Once again, during the summer, saw it with my Aunt Nancy, saw it with my brother. And it's just such a good movie. It's so much fun. at the very beginning of Ready Player One, the main character, Wade, has to give a password to get to access to his computer,
His Oasis account.
And his password is "Greetings, Starfighter. You've been recruited by the Alliance."
Something Armada.
You've been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. And I saw that, and I'm like, I love this book. I mean, I'm a chapter into it, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this book so much. I love this freaking book, and I did love the book, and just that from right there. I remember one thing specifically is that at one point during that movie, my aunt has to tell me to sit down because somehow I ended up standing up and was standing up in the middle of the theater during the movie. But anyway, go see it. Never-ending Story. Oh my God, as a fantasy reading teen, and actually I wasn't even technically a teen when that came out. Adolescent. I related so much to the protagonist in that little kid who's picked on at school. I mean, I got picked on, but even though I was bigger than everybody else, but it just, Texas is full of a bunch of hyenas, man. But anyway.
Apologies to the Texans who are watching.
You know who you are. So anyway, Never-ending Story, just, and who can forget the soundtrack, right? That song.
Well, obviously Dustin from Stranger Things didn't forget the
yeah,
soundtrack.
Not
he
at
sang
all.
it to Susie.
That's
his
right.
girlfriend.
That's right. And then my last one is Spaceballs. And for all the reasons before. First of all, it refers to a lot of summer movies, the Star Wars movies. Mel Brooks is a genius. But I also went to go see it with my Aunt Nancy and my brother. So there's kind of a theme there. You
Tell me something else about Spaceballs that relates to you.
So back at Comic-Con 2017, it was the 30th anniversary of Spaceballs. So I did a cosplay as Barf and went to Comic-Con, and it was...
I will insert a picture if you're watching on YouTube. If you want to see Neil dressed as Barf, I will put one in.
I was very popular with a particular demographic. Middle-aged men just absolutely loved me. I
wanted to take pictures with him. I was so over it.
I
We were
was
trying
like
to
a
make our
celebrity.
way across the exhibit hall, and people kept stopping him and yelling, "You're your own best friend."
I can see where being a cosplayer would be addictive because you are kind of like a celebrity by proxy, sort of. And at the end of the day, when I finally stripped off all that makeup, and I was glad to get that off, I was glad to take off the wig, and I was glad to take off the coveralls, but it was weird because why aren't people looking at me anymore?
He was so sad.
It was
very sad.
I can see where that could be addictive.
Yeah. Quick anecdote. When he was unveiling his costume, my mother was visiting us, and we were sitting on the couch, and I didn't know that he had gone and put this outfit together. I didn't know he was planning on cosplaying. So he descended down our stairs into our living room, and my mother's looking at him, clearly has no idea who he's cosplaying as, has never seen Spaceballs. So she looks at him, looks at me, looks at him, and then goes, he really is your soulmate. And I'm not sure that was a compliment. I'm not sure what she was trying to say with that statement, but, whatever. So anyway, that brings us to my list of nostalgic summary movies. So my first one is also an adaptation of Stephen King, which was Stand By Me. And I love that movie. The music, and it was great. It was not a road trip movie, but it was an adventure movie. These, group of boys, these friends, go off on this adventure to find this dead body. It's narrated by Richard Dreyfuss. It's very nostalgic. Will Wheaton of Star Trek fame starred in it. Also, Sean Astin was in it. Right?
No,
not
no.
Sean
He tells
Astin.
a story where he lost the part.
Right.
He was reading for
River
for
Phoenix
River
was in it.
Phoenix's part.
Yeah. And
when he went in, River Phoenix was coming out, and everyone was crying after River Phoenix was done.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "I'm not getting this."
yeah.
part.
So anyway, it was great movie. My next one is the first of this franchise that I ever watched, and I've seen all of them since, which was a James Bond movie. It was A View to a Kill, 1985, one of the most kick-ass James Bond theme
Oh,
songs.
for sure.
Duran Duran.
I mean, it's
awesome.
It's a big argument over. I'm not sure it's the best, but it's definitely got a strong
really
argument
good.
for it.
The villain in it was Christopher Walken, who I love, love, love.
Yeah.
It was Roger Moore, who was not my favorite James Bond, but it was super fun movie. Part of it was set in San Francisco. It was a very cool James Bond movie, and James Bond movies are fun and action and
I'll bet a lot
crazy,
of them are released in the summer.
yeah,
too.
crazy stunt sequences, and they feel like summer movies to me.
I think the first James Bond movie I saw in the theater came out. It was Never Say Never Again. I think it came out during the summer.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, if there's a James Bond movie, we go see it. We really like it, and Neil's dad is a huge James Bond fan. So my next one was Clueless. So I really like that movie. I was older than the people in the movie. That's another Paul Rudd movie, right?
Yep.
Alicia Silverstone was in it.
Oh, that made her into a mega star.
But I kept watching this movie going, there's something about this movie that seems familiar. Like, I've never seen the movie, but the plot, some of the names. And then I realized it was an adaptation of Emma, of a Jane Austen story. And it was set in LA. And I just really like that movie. And I think that, from like a chick movie perspective, it's a fun movie.
I think that gives you a false impression of the LA highways because they don't move that fast.
Yeah, everything in LA is 20 minutes from everything else. Her dad says that to her.
That's a load of crap,
yeah.
dude.
So anyway, my next movie is The Lost Boys. I'm wearing the t-shirt. I'm not going to go into major detail because I've mentioned this movie before, but it's set in Santa Carla,
filmed in Santa Cruz,
aka Santa Cruz. It's at the boardwalk, at the beach. It's scary. There's vampires, there's teenagers doing teenagery things. It's got romance and action, and it's funny. It's got the Frog Brothers, who you love. So yeah, if you haven't seen
Corey Feldman was in 2 of your movies.
Go figure. So
great soundtrack too.
So yeah, Corey Feldman was also in Stand By Me. So I would say if you haven't seen The Lost Boys, highly recommend. And then my last one, which is not one of my favorite movies of all time, but when you're talking about summer, this was a movie that felt 100% to me like a summer movie, which was Summer School, starring Mark Harmon. So
Yeah.
It's very like B movie. Courtney Thorne Smith was in it.
But it was one of those B movies that's like a surprise because it's
it's
you
fun.
You don't expect a lot from it, but it's actually really entertaining.
It's a bunch of kids who have to take summer school. Mark Harmon's their teacher. He's
a PE teacher who's gotten kind of drafted into
he's
it.
kind of flaky, whatever. But they develop this kind of
he became a teacher just because he wanted summers off.
Yeah. Kirstie Alley's in it too.
Kirstie Alley's
like
his love
interest. But yeah, he lives at the beach. He's wearing Hawaiian shirts and shorts. And, I actually took the summer before I started high school, I took health and guidance during summer school. And it was taught by our swim teacher at my high school, who always kind of reminded me of that Mark Harmon he was always wearing like OP swimwear.
Was he good looking like Mark Harmon?
He was good looking. He didn't look like Mark Harmon, but he was good looking. Mr. Pierce. Shout out. But anyway, so anyway, that brings us to your blockbusters. So give us your blockbuster summer movie choices.
All right. So one of the first movies I can remember standing in line to get into was Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton as Batman. That was a huge movie. I went to go see it with my friend Matt Gamble. Haven't seen Matt since high school, so hope you're doing well, Matt, if you're out there. I can't even find him on social media.
Anyway,
so
we're almost to an hour and a half. So
God, okay. Ghostbusters. I was with some friends. We were at another movie. We saw a preview for Ghostbusters, and we made a vow that we will go see Ghostbusters together. So once again, the summer themes of big movie, big actors, fun, and seeing it communally. That's something that
I went to see it with my best friend April. And we immediately went out and got those Ghostbuster T-shirts afterwards, the blue T-shirts with the ghost with the, hash.
My Aunt Nancy bought me a Ghostbuster
We all
t-shirt.
needed Ghostbusters T-shirts.
Independence Day, 1996 is a little bit later on. I was in my 20s at that point, but that was huge, right?
Bill Pullman as the president.
You got Will Smith. You got
Jeff Goldblum fighting the aliens.
Yeah, so
saving the world.
All that action. A stirring, rousing speech.
Today is our Independence Day.
And then Terminator 2 that's another one I went to go see it with my cousins Amanda and Melissa and my brothers. So once again, communal experience, went with family, great popcorn movie.
If you're watching on YouTube, I have my Terminator Tiki mug right here. He is known as the Tikinator, and he's wearing the Terminator shades, and on the back it actually says Tikinator here. So I pulled them out just for this occasion.
All right.
Go ahead.
And then my final one is Back to the Future, which
maybe the best summer movie of all time.
It's
hard not to put that one at least in the top 2.
I'm such a simp for this movie. My Aunt Nancy took me and my brother to see it, then she took us back with Amanda and Melissa to see it, and I haven't seen the second and third movies because I loved the first one so much. I never.
Yeah, that's devotion.
I
you should have done that with The Matrix.
Oh God. I almost should have done it with Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, the first three.
First three.
Stop after that.
Yeah.
Stop after Jedi.
So those are my 5 summer blockbusters.
So now we're moving to mine. And speaking of Star Wars is the first one on my list. So
great choice. Star
Wars 1977, which later became Episode 4, A New Hope. But at the time, we all just called it Star Wars, right? Established, as we all know, a multimedia empire leading to sequels, prequels, spin-offs, novels, television shows, all of the Disney Plus stuff, merch, lots of merch.
Some truly terrible sequels.
Theme lands at Disney theme parks.
And prequels.
And one ill-advised Christmas special.
Yeah.
So I am a self-avowed Trekkie. I liked episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars, and I have watched a lot of the other stuff with kind of mixed reviews, but you cannot, whether you're a Trekkie or not, you cannot disavow the role that the Star Wars has played just in pop culture, mass media, influence. I mean, how many movies have been spawned because of Star Wars?
It's inspired a ton of pop culture.
And it's created a whole lane for the nerds. So because of that, I'm not ever going to bag on Star Wars.
I'll bag on Star Wars.
Specific Star Wars properties.
Star Wars, I want to love you so much.
Yes.
Why do you keep putting out terrible content?
Okay. So next one is Jurassic Park for me. I think we've beaten that one to death, but I liked the first Jurassic Park movie. I liked the book. I read a whole bunch of Michael Crichton books at the same time. Really liked the book. And if you like the Jurassic Park movies and you haven't read the book, I would recommend read the Michael Crichton book. You're really going to enjoy it. Next for me would be the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There have been really a lot of horrible adaptations of Disney rides. The Pirates of the Caribbean are not that. I think they were really fun.
Shockingly good.
I liked Johnny Depp. I liked Keira Knightley in them. I liked Orlando Bloom. The soundtrack was awesome. It was like epic and stirring and piratey and so I would say if you're looking for some like fun movies to rewatch during the summer, pop some popcorn and watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Those are really fun. Another movie that we had talked about, Endgame, but for me, The Avengers. I think The Avengers is quite possibly the most perfect comic book movie I've ever seen. And if you're a comic book fan, I mean, we'll probably do an entire Marvel episode of like what was great about Marvel and maybe what is not going so great. So I'm a Marvel fan. Neil is a Marvel fan. We haven't made any bones about that. If you want to argue about, what's good in Marvel and what's bad in Marvel, the Avengers movie was awesome.
It might still be the most perfect comic book movie ever made.
Yeah, I mean, Endgame, you could argue it might be, but the Avengers just like completely stuck the landing. It was awesome. They've done all of this world building and then they bring it in the Avengers, and that is a great
It paid off all of their
It did. Fan service
work that they did with the Iron Man movies and then the Captain America and Thor movies. So
my next one is the Indiana Jones movies. So Raiders of the Lost Ark, I really like the one with Sean Connery. I like the third one.
Oh, The Last Crusade.
Last
Yeah, that was
Crusade.
great.
That was a great movie. The ones after that, just ignore they ever existed.
Yeah.
Just watch the first three. But fun, adventure, popcorn, great leading man, great characters, great love interests, just like so much fun, great sidekicks. Sean Connery was great as Indiana Jones's father. Funny. So, I mean, I think everybody in the world has seen the Indiana Jones
that is
movies,
maybe a
but
perfect popcorn movie.
yeah, it's just so much fun. And I'm going to end my list and all of this with an honorable mention, which is Speed. So Speed, to me, is such a summer adrenaline. I mean, that movie starts, and from the moment it starts till the moment it ends, it's just like, keeps building and building and building and building and building. And you're talking about the LA freeways, right?
Yeah.
But you introduced us more or less to Sandra Bullock and to Keanu Reeves.
Well, we'd seen Keanu Reeves in a few things. This is introducing us to Keanu Reeves as a action hero.
Yeah,
which
we've
a lot
seen
of
him in
people
Bill
were
and
skeptical
Ted
about
before
him.
that.
And I made a comment about Keanu Reeves a few episodes ago, where I was not complimentary, but I've got to tell you, maybe he's not the best actor, but man, he is in a lot of my favorite movies.
Yeah. The motto of our Facebook group, which spawned this podcast, Nerds Over 40, is be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Which we got from Bill and Ted. So, and that is the rule that we make all of our members adhere to, is just be excellent to each other.
Yeah, you can go back and forth, but just don't be dicks.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But anyway, Speed's another one that's like a major popcorn, fun, crazy action kind of movie.
If y'all remember it back in 1994, it was completely unexpected too.
Yeah.
No one expected that to explode the way that it did.
It's one of those movies that you come out of and you're like, what the hell was that?
It's like
wow.
It's like a movie that is almost straight to video, but you watch it and you're just like, oh my God, that was good. So,
and it's another one that I think a lot of movies like Fast and Furious and stuff have kind of spawned those.
Tried to steal or borrow from
Yeah.
it. But it's a great movie. Great cast too. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels, I think, is in it. Dennis Hopper. It's got a very good cast, and the chemistry is great. It's really good. And that was Sandy Bullock pre-nose job.
Was it? I don't remember her nose. But anyway, so I think we've covered quite a few summer movies.
God, y'all, sorry. But for those of you who are listening to us while you drive to work, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's right. We took you all the way to work and back, probably.
At least once, maybe twice.
But I would say, was there something that we missed? Something you really agree with or disagree with? Drop a comment. Let us know.
Share your memories with us in the comments.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. If you're still with us by this point,
yes.
This is why most people lead with that. But
that's right.
Anyway, folks, it's been a pleasure being here for you. I hope you enjoyed it.
It has. I don't know what our next episode is going to be, where we've got a couple ideas we're kicking around. So we'll have something for you in about a week, but I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. So
it'll be awesome.
We're looking for inspiration, so hopefully it will strike soon.
Leave something in the comments for us.
Yeah, give us a recommendation. But meanwhile, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Adios, nerdmigos.
And live long and prosper.